Up for this case. The litigants for our next case are now on their way into court.
This is the plaintiff, Robert Remmick, his wife, Susan, and son, Doug. He alleges that the defendant's pit bull bit his dog, Barney, on the ear, and poor Barney had to have stitches and 2 additional operations because of that bite. He's suing for $252.75 for vet bills. This is the defendant, Sherry Harcourt. She says she paid the initial vet bill since her dog Brutus apparently bit the plaintiff's dog's ear. She blames the subsequent infection on the plaintiff's shoddy care of his dog, so she's not about to pay a penny more. She's accused of failing to control her dog. We'll return for the case of Barney meets Brutus after these messages.
688-8140. You'll come a long way in a short time.
This is the case of Barney meets Brutus. Now, according to the plaintiff, his dog followed him out of the house as he was saying goodnight to some guests, and it was then that the defendant's dog attacked Barney. He states that the injury became infected, and he feels the woman should pay for all the vet bills that he incurred due to her vicious dog. The defendant claims she checked with the plaintiff's vet before paying the bill and was told that would be the end of his treatment. She insists that the dog's ear became infected due to the plaintiff's negligence, so she is not about to pay his other vet bills. Well, the big question here is who's responsible for the veterinarian's bills? Let's try to find out now as the litigants talk to Judge Wapner.
Now you've been sworn. I have read your complaint. You claim that your dog was injured by the defendant's dog?
Yes, Your Honor.
When did this take place, sir?
Happened on November 22nd of last year at approximately 10 p.m. at night.
All right. Where did it take place?
Right on our front yard and right next to our driveway. We were walking
You have a home there?
Yes, at our home. We were walking dinner guest out of the house that night. My family and I and the dog came out with us at our feet, and at that point in time, the defendant's dog ran across the street and attacked our dog.
You live across the street from the...
Actually, my parents do. I was visiting with
You were visiting there, and
Uh-huh.
your dog was with you?
Yes.
What kind of dog do you have?
It's a pit bull.
Pit bull.
I have a statement here from my witness that couldn't come here. Thank you.
Where was your witness?
Working. Oh,
Pardon
with me? Oh, he was...
At that night I'm talking about.
Oh, right alongside of me. There were 3 dogs out at the time.
Okay. Your dog was not on a leash?
No, sir, he was not.
And yours wasn't either?
No.
What kind of dog did you have?
It's a mixed breed, small mixed breed dog, about 35 pounds.
What happened to your dog?
After the initial attack, we took the dog back into the house and checked him for injury, and he was bleeding from the ear canal in his left ear. I talked to the defendant at that time, and I told her I would get back with her the next day after I checked with my vet. We took the dog to the vet the next day. The initial charge was $79 for the care of the ear. The wound was quite unique in the fact that it went into the ear canal, and the wound could not be sutured. It had to be treated while it was open. So we went back, well, let's see, on November 26th, I called Sherry and told her what the charge was going to be.
What did you tell her?
I told her that just that the dog had been bit in the ear, the vet, and gave her the amount of the vet bill. And at that time, she indicated that she wasn't sure she was going to pay because both dogs were not on a leash at the time. Then we had several rechecks after that to the vet, taking our dog back to the vet.
You have a letter from the vet or an affidavit?
I do. Yes, I do.
Does that include the charges, sir?
No, sir. Here are the charges.
You did pay $79 for the
I did.
original visit to the vet.
And I talked to the vet. Also, the vet had stated to me that that would be all the charges, that the wound should heal itself.
When did you talk to the vet?
Approximately December 3rd,
Well, apparently
first week.
Apparently Barney had to be treated by the vet over a 2-month period.
No, I didn't. I talked to the vet before I wrote out this check to Mr. Remmick.
I understand that, but I said subsequent to your doing that, apparently that
Okay, well,
he
I
had
was
to be
not
treated.
notified. I had no idea until late February that the dog had even undergone an operation or anything else.
Were you there that night that
Yes,
this happened?
I was. I also took some
Did you see what happened?
Uh-huh.
What kind of pictures do you have?
Pictures of the front and where the dogs were. The picture on your left is the picture of Mr. Remmick's house. The dogs were towards the curb, the street area, which is considered public property.
Were you there that night?
Yes, I was. I was walking our company out.
What do you have to tell me about it?
Just that the dog did get bitten on our property on the driveway.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Well, I did go to the city of Placentia, got their restraint of dogs, Article 2, and basically it says that...
Why don't you just give it to me?
Okay. Will they go
I think
along...
I have that in chambers, and I looked up.
They go along with the county. I also have the county's restraint laws.
All right. Is the counties any different than the city?
A little, slightly. And I'd like to add that my dogs are pedigree dogs. They're well-trained, well-bred. When I noticed...
Had nothing to do with it, ma'am.
Well, when the incident happened, I did call him, and he came forth. It's not an usual occurrence. It's never happened like this before, nothing to this effect. Pit bulls have a name, a stigma attached to them, and I just want to make it clear that this dog is not like that.
Take a short recess. I'll come back and give you my decision. But each of you has to prove 3 things. As far as the plaintiff's concerned, he has to prove the same things the defendant does in this case. He's got to show negligence, and he's shown negligence by the fact that there was a violation by you of the leash law that you've given me. You didn't have control of the dog, and you didn't have him on a leash. He got away from you when he went across the street and attacked this other dog. So that's negligence. The second thing he has to prove is that that negligence was a proximate cause or a legal cause of his dog being injured. What does proximate cause mean? It means that something that happens without which the accident or the injury would not have occurred. Well, this accident occurred because the dog was not on a leash. So he's proven negligence, he's proven proximate cause, and the third thing he has to prove is damages. He's shown me the vet's bill and the letter, so he's proven damages. You paid him $79, the balance is $250, $275. Now, to counteract that, you want to show that he's guilty of contributory negligence, and therefore you should only be liable for a part of this bill. You've shown that he's negligent because he didn't have custody or control of the dog, whether it's on private property or public property. He's got to have such control of the dog that either on his own property, he's got to have the dog fenced in by a 6-foot fence, or he's got to have the dog on a 6-foot leash. If it's on public property, he certainly has to exercise the same kind of control. He has to have him on a leash. So you've shown that he's negligent. What's the second item you've got to show? That you've got to show that that negligence also was a proximate cause of injury to his dog. That the dog was at his feet when this happened. So apparently the pit bull must have just dashed across the street, attacked his dog before he had a chance to do anything. So let's assume that he'd had the dog on a leash. Of course, if he'd had a 6-foot fence, the dog wouldn't be anything here. But he doesn't have to have a fence and the dog on a leash. Let's assume he had the dog on a leash. Dog runs across the street, can attack him just the same way. Probably wouldn't have had any more time to pull the dog on the leash than he did of reaching down and picking the dog up when your dog attacked. So in my view, there's no proximate cause insofar as his negligence is concerned. His negligence is not a proximate cause of this accident at all. So since you can't show that, you're liable for the entire bill. My judgment is for plaintiff for $250, $275.
So that'll bring this session of the People's Court to a close for now. I'm Doug Llewellyn, thanking you for joining us and reminding you that if your dog is injured in a scuffle with a neighbor's dog and your dog's not at fault, but yet the neighbor won't pay, don't take the law into your own hands. You take him to court.
Tonight at 8, Paul Newman is a private eye getting in over his head on a mysterious murder case in The Drowning Pool on Channel 13.